The biggest time I felt like I made it was definitely Lyoko. Um, and I mean, again, I don't know how I describe Shelter, but that was my first time like as like just a patron, like club goer kind of thing. But like the first time like I've played like Lyoko, and the way that they had their old world set up was a backstage area that you needed to access through like it wasn't a code, but it was like a certain button on a door. And back there were like the light controls and everything, and then um you could see like through the screen there's like a pass through, like opacity 50 type black screen just there.
Hello, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion. Oop.
I'm old man Raptor. Blah, 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 and I'm not even drinking. I'm old man Raptor, and our guest is
Bert.
Bert. Now,
Bert.
do you have a friend named Ernie?
If I had a nickel for every single time I heard that.
I know, I couldn't
I
help
bet you
myself.
probably catch a lot of hell. And he lives on Sesame Street down on the left-hand corner. Yeah, I bet he gets that one too.
So, what is it you do here in VR and real life, or whatever? What is it you do on the internet? Is probably a better word. Yeah.
So on the internet, I am a producer and a DJ. I have been a music producer since early 2015.
Oh, wow.
Started when I was a sophomore in high school. So that was always great. In like mid to late 2022, I wanted to get into mixing. So I was doing all this research, everything, and eventually met up with two now friends, Pod and Daisuke Strike. Great guys, love them to death. Those guys, man, they took me in arms, just showed me the ropes, and been mixing ever since.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I just do. I work call their gang. You could probably figure that out in your head.
Cool. Now, question, Raptor. Is he breaking up for you, or am I going to die soon?
I'm catching the same thing. He's breaking up on my end. I thought he was just. I thought I was on my end. I thought I was losing my mind. Is he breaking up or what? Is it
We
me
missed
or
a bit
what?
of what you said.
You said everything was every other word practically. Yeah, you sound
Crazy.
The last
Must
thing,
be, must be
the
what you're
last
drinking.
clear thing we heard you say was Pod and Dice Guy, great guys, and then you immediately started to fragment
Gotcha.
immediately.
TLDR, great guys, help me get into everything. Love them to death.
So, what brought you to VRChat?
So, I'm sure, as everybody can imagine, going on break from work, 2018, see a little video. Do you know D-Way? Oh, yes, I know D-Way. Saw that. Just looked at the comments. What game is this? What game is this? Oh, this is VRChat. Gave it a try just to see what it's about. I never really kind of knew what I was getting myself into. Put the game down a little bit, and then once COVID happened, I picked up, a little virtual headset, CV1, and been using that. And that's kind of where my trope started on here.
No. So, how did you get involved with the rave and produce and DJ community here in VRChat? How'd you get started here?
So, meeting other producers is more on the networking side, where it's like, I know one guy, Schwank, he's been producing for quite some time as well. I want to say just around the same time as I have. Met him at a club. How I got into the club scene was mainly just through Pod and Daisuke. I didn't really know that there was such a big thing in this game. But they took me over to quite a few like open decks. and they run their own venue called Wiretap. So once I gained enough skill, I got brought in as a resident there. But I was able to see some of their events, and it's amazing on what's capable of some of the people in this community.
We've been around a little bit. We saw some impressive people. And one thing that always blows my mind is the amount of organization some of these places have, like with DJs and clubs, and the fact that people do it for fun. Although it's really awesome to see as well, people such as you out there making music or clubs providing a place for you to play.
I mean, even for us, like, I mean, I could be the first person to say, like, I've been producing since 2015. I get paid jack shit. I'll work my 9 to 5. I'll do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. But it's like, this is more of a hobby. This is how I pass time. This is what I do for fun. And dude, there's been so much controversy about, like, oh, let's pay the DJs for their time, and it's just like, why? I just like doing this for fun.
I can understand that. That seems to be a very common sentiment amongst the people we've talked to. DJs and club owners such as yourself, let it be a free thing. A lot of people such as yourself, as you say, do it for fun. Most people come here to VRChat to escape, not make it a job, but some people want it to be. I can see both sides, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, like, I've seen, with this podcast, you do a lot of talks with, like, content creators and DJs, artists. I can imagine, like, some of these people must do it as a full-time job, which is, like, that's my dream, to do music as a full-time job. But even as of now, it's just, I understand you're putting all this time in there, but you gotta understand, it's really all voluntary. It's like all out of your own, like, volunteering at the end of the day. It's just you chose it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, if it gets big enough, then, I mean, hey, that would be cool. But it's like, in my own perspective, it's just, I don't mind doing this for free. I like it,
From my thought process, if you're doing a thing for money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. You should be doing a thing because you like it, not necessarily because I want to make money. Look at all this cool stuff. No. If you want to do a thing because you like it, and then what will happen will come after. You get to enjoy it yourself first.
Exactly. That's like the best way that you could probably put it. I mean, I've seen clubs that only care about the numbers, and it's just like, you're doing it for a wrong reason. Like, listen, if your venue has a queue of like 80 plus people, then dude, that's awesome. But it's like, don't make it solely based off of the numbers. Just do it for the love of music. That's what I always look at, I mean, it's just like, that's my whole thing. It's just, I like doing this strictly for the music, for the community. It's great. It's
it is really great to see the kinds of the community that's here for music, especially since there are some people out there, like we've heard of, like Muzz, for example, and Sanctum. The fact that there are people outside coming in that provide a place for people to play for fun, and sometimes even pass some knowledge on. I think it's a wonderful thing for people, even for just like a side hobby off or whatever. It's great to see that people such as yourself or even bigger names can just come here and do it for shits and giggles. The fact that VRchat's a place you can come, watch a free show, hang out with people, maybe learn something is fantastic.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I've gotten opportunities to talk to many other producers alike. Like, recently, I bumped myself into a convo with this guy Luca Lush, who does a lot of IRL venues. He's a techno artist and DJ, and it was him and 2TD just talking, and they're really down to earth guys. And it's just like, you could tell, like, these guys are humble. They're in for the music. They don't care about getting paid. It's like, you gain so much knowledge by talking to certain people, and it's great. People who have been in the industry IRL for years on end, they know their shit. They know what they're doing. And it's really cool to be able to kind of just talk with them and just understand stuff from their perspective.
Mm.
Because I mean, I mix and I produce hardcore music. On the East Coast where I am, there's like little to, as far as I'm aware, like little to no places for people to accept that stuff. The only places you'll really see hardcore being spun at is like Little Texas at like EDC or the Netherlands and Belgium, Germany, all those EU countries, you know. It's not big out here, and it's this is also what I like. It's giving me that space to kind of express myself and how I choose to.
Hmm. So, how long have you been in this space in VR chat? May I ask?
Um, so my first ever kind of practice, like gig, whatever you want to call it, was doing like a little open decks thing, and I've only been mixing for about 3 weeks prior, and I'm actually just about to hit like my first year of being like officially, in the scene.
Mm.
Um, so early November was kind of around my space where I just got my first DJ deck, and I was practicing mixing nonstop for like a week straight. And then my friend Daisuke was like, "Yo, there's a gig. There's open decks over here. I could see if I could get you in for like a certain slot or something." I'm like, "Hell fucking yeah. I don't work the next day. I'm down." And it was fun, you know? I mean, ever since then I've just been kind of hooked on this whole, being able to express myself through music. It's
Mm.
it's just great. I could definitely not speak on the wider concepts of it because again, I've only been in this for about a year. But
Mm.
it's like with all the stuff that I've seen, minus the drama and the controversies and stuff like that, it's just it's great. It's great.
Mm.
I love this place, you know? I mean, it's like this is where I feel home at a way.
Mm.
Um,
I do.
it's great.
I can agree with you there. VRchat's one of the few people. I can English well. I are great at English. Um, VRchat's
You
one
want
of
me
the.
to go get a crayon so you can write it down?
I great at spelling. My phone great.
Oh yeah. No shit. And I'm the one that's got dyslexia. Thanks. Uh-huh.
You should see the autocorrect in my phone. It's reached a point where I can spell normally, but then my phone will purposely misspell a bunch of random bullshit because I did in the past. So now I'll send random messages that is unintelligible bullshit because I misspelled shit before. It's annoying as shit. I have to pay attention now. But VRChat is VRChat's one of the few places I've come to where I was actually able to see people from opposing views argue and then have a drink after and be peaceful. And that's one of the few things I enjoy of this place is people are actually friendly. They'll treat you like people. It's fantastic. I can't agree with you here about most of
Oh
everything you
yeah.
said. Mm, great.
Like I staff for a NA hardcore venue called Hard as Fuck, and it's like everybody over there, man. Like we have our regulars, and it's great to see them because it's just like they're like family to us, and
Mm,
it's just like the music just brings everybody together. Like fuck the drama, fuck whatever happened at your job today. You're here now, and you're here to just enjoy yourself, and that's the best thing that we can get out of it. It's just like this is like our sanctuary, like our safe space kind of thing.
mm. I can agree with that. It's amazing to see people like you guys and even clubs providing amazing places. There's so many groups here that provide peaceful, happy places for people, and I enjoy seeing like people like you out there making this a better place for everybody.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, it's my whole thing is I just want to make somebody kind of forget about their shitty day
Mm,
and just listen to the music and just enjoy it. Like that's my whole end goal out of all of this is just relax yourself.
mm.
Kind of ironic being the music that I play, but that's besides the fact.
Honestly, as long as you enjoy it, that's fine. I'm personally a big metalhead, so the fact that I can relax to it. I'm sure you can relax to your genre that you enjoy.
Oh my god,
Whatever
yeah.
it is.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mm. So
I love ear-piercing music at the end of the night. Destroying my eardrums, man.
He's a metalhead, all right, but it's okay until he has to lift up that beam. It's a real bitch after that.
Thanks, Raptor. I love you.
Oh, I didn't know you cared. Thank you. I'll get you a Christmas card.
Careful what you say. Bertie and Darkload will think we're married again.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, how many years together, huh?
It's been 2 years and counting.
Yeah, and everybody gives me crap.
Oh, so
God,
happy.
Whoa, don't, you're pushing. Whoa, you're going the wrong path, buddy. You're going down the wrong trail there. Man, we're going to open up a can of worms here, people. And I'm small, and he's going to step on my ass. Yeah, if you get my drift, I'm going to be his skateboard.
I don't fight, so at the end of the day, at the end of this podcast, I'm probably going to get the shit beaten out of me by Raptor here.
Oh, yeah, hold still. I got your knee. Hold still. I got your tennis shoes.
It's going to kick my shin. I'm going to fall right to the ground.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put him in a mason jar. And he can't do anything about it.
Oh, Christ. Here we go with the fucking mason jar. He'd actually be over there going, hey, you ever seen a ball roll real fast when you side kick it? Yeah, there you go.
You know, Raptor, we're going to do an experiment for you. I want you to get in your hamster ball, and when I kick it, let me know as you spin and roll across the floor if you get sick.
Okay. Sure, no problem.
I won't actually kick you. I'm sorry. I should be a lot nicer.
He's apologizing. He hasn't even done the damn thing. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I got to say sorry. You bitch. Nice toss. Look at that bitch go. Hey, did you barf in your ball? No, not yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah, I like that one. Sorry about that.
One more will go. One more will do the trick.
One more will do the trick every time.
Oh, Lord. So what was the first few clubs you played at like, and what were they?
So the first ever venue that I played for was actually ran by my now girlfriend's roommate, Kamexa. And she does this little thing called RNG. And the TLDR aspect of it is all DJs put in 3 genres that they find comfortable mixing. And it's all randomized. So the first ever genre that I got, no experience mixing it whatsoever, was a metal step. And oh my god, it's like I found one of my favorite genres to mix as well. And I mean, it's just like I don't do it often, but it is fun. And the guy who picked that got a house, and it's just like it's so random. It's great. The next venue that I played at was actually my resident wiretap, and it was Volume 0 is what they called it, and it was the day before the main event. You know, we all spun in the outside of the venue. Pod, great guy, like I say, he put a bunch of like TVs and DJ decks outside of the doorway, so it's like it's all blocked off, and you know, we're just mixing there. And then the next one right after that, I think it was like not even a month afterwards. It was Hardbox with Subsystem VR, and that's when I did my first ever up-tempo set, and that was just surreal. First time I've ever mixed with like 50 plus people. My heart was beating the entire time, man.
Sounds like quite the experience.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I got a question, but it's completely off the subject here. I just got to ask this. Since you've been DJs, all the people we've talked to that are DJs and stuff like this, knowing you got a girlfriend now, correct? Did you, when you started and everything else like this, did you have girls literally drive you nuts? I'm just curious.
No comment. No.
No comment. Okay, well, that'd be okay. I got.
Not in the slightest. No.
Oh, okay. Just double checking.
Well, On a random note as well, I find a lot of what goes on in VRChat, like clubs, for example, is a really hard thing, the VRChat community, to explain to people outside of here too. If you go, I was out there in a rave with a SpongeBob, a Kermit the Frog, and a Naruto, people would think you're schizophrenic, and it's hilarious to trying to explain the memories you'll make here, but it's also really unique.
Well, it's a little early for a Halloween party. It's April, for fuck's sake. um,
You're
Yeah,
DJing and you got
it was a
what?
little hard
Are
to
you on
explain.
drugs? Are you on drugs? We'll be after this incident's over with. Yeah, no problem.
I'll never forget, there was a time where it's like my mom gave me a phone call, but it's like I was DJing for like an hour straight, and she just wanted to check up, say hi, and stuff like that, and then it's like called her back, and then she's like, "What were you doing?" And I'm just like, I was DJing in VR," and she's like, "Huh?" It's like giving me like, look at me like I have 10 eyes, and it's just like that was a little conversation, just try to explain, like, yeah, just imagine you're at a club in a virtual world, it's great. She still didn't understand.
Still sit there and shook her head going, huh? What?
How did I raise this
What
kid?
the hell's on? Yeah, you turn her. Yeah, she looks at her father. Looks at your father, going, "He's on something, but he's not telling me the truth. He's beating around the bush, saying something about VR shit. I don't know what he's working on, but we'll get there. He'll get to the bottom of it. Don't worry, dear. Well, I'll get to the bottom of it." Yeah, right. The only way you get to do that is you take the headgear and stick it on their head, and go, "Watch." After that, they'll go, "Fuck this," and throw it down, going, "You are on drugs, putting this shit on your head. You must be nuts." Yeah.
Best first experience, take them to shelter and just have them take the bathroom drugs that are over there. They'll get the impression.
Oh, no. You got to do it like me. Just put them on a roller coaster and see how long they last.
Oh,
They won't
my
put the shit on for fucking
God.
a day. 3
Oh, my
days without
God.
this on because I got motion sickness. Holy fucking shit, that was stupid. Hey, roller coasters are fun. I like them. Yeah, right.
You're both wrong.
Uh,
You have your family do a Black Cat instance without knowing exactly where they are.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
oh, shit.
That'll definitely leave a great impression while they're getting things yelled at them from a little brush.
Well, get him in an argument with like an 8-year-old kid on a quest,
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. You know how that's going to turn out. Your mom's an adult, you're an adult, and she's talking to an 8-year-old kid, just want to go, "I'd like to know where your parents are at, young man. I'd like to really have a word with them." Really quick.
So, Mom,
right.
So, Mom, how's your experience? I had an 8-year-old tell me the 20 different ways how they did my mom, and I'm your mom.
No shit.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So
It's great, ain't it?
That brings a question to mind. What are some of your more memorable VRdj moments here in VRChat?
Definitely my first ever venue, RNG, was just, again, it wasn't by any means like an 80+ venue like Shelter. By no means was it. It was like 30 people max, but like being the first time to ever press the play button and just go batshit crazy with whatever fucking mix I put on at the time, and seeing people headbang and enjoy it, and that was like top tier endorphin for me. Like I was like cloud 9. And when I was doing my research way before I started VR DJing, and it's like I saw a club named Lyoko, and I was like, oh man, like this seems sick. And it's like, I think that was the first ever Discord that I joined, like VR club related. And one of my friends was like, we're doing an After Dark, which is like a scheduled pop-up kind of thing. And they were like, well, do you want to spin some stuff over here? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, wow. And it's like, it's crazy to think like a club that I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. And it's just like now I'm here playing at their instance, and it wasn't like a main event, but like still like being able to set foot on the decks and just spin there was like amazing for me. I'll never forget those kind of moments. Apart from the niche, every DJ gig is a great memory of mine, which it is, but there are some that just kind of impact more than others and have a greater kind of sense of like, wow, I'm doing this kind of thing.
I could.
I got a question. I got a question for you. Since you've been DJing and everything else like this, and you got the floor, and they're all looking at you, correct? And everything else. What's the weirdest thing? I don't lag here. When you were DJing, that you noticed out on the floor, and you just had to. You just doing your thing, but you couldn't stop paying attention to what was going on. What's the weirdest thing that you ever had?
Oh God. This one particular like event that I went to, I'm not gonna name the name obviously, but it's like I looked over and I just see these two like making out and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, that's cool, that's whatever. And I'm just like bumping along to the music, kind of looking the other way. I see this dude straight up like groping his girlfriend. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Apart from like the meme avatars and stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm so like going like, had to do a double take. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is this allowed? It's like the event was being streamed too, and it's just like, I'm like, how
Oh
the
my
fuck do I
God.
like quietly tell the club owner the camera can see this?
Jesus Christ. Wow. Hey, that was a great day. That was a great thing. I was boogieing on the floor, and so was the people next to me, man. I had to stop and watch. Oh, wow.
They were boogieing a
That's
little
a groove
differently, but,
thing.
they're
Hey, would
boogieing
you
a lot.
teach me that? I want to learn. Yeah, right. See where that one goes. Like, yeah, like, oh, sorry, we're in a public area having fun, aren't we? Duh, no shit. Oh my God.
Look, Mom, they're wrestling to the
Welcome to
music.
Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's moaning to the beat. It ain't no Elvis Presley song, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, no shit.
It's kind of like a two-parter to this, but like even just sitting there as a like just a regular club goer at the time, my girlfriend was like, "Oh, let's go to PSHQ." Now, like, I don't know the difference between like PSHQ, Motel. Like they're all ran kind of by like the same clique, but some of them are like NSFW events, and it's just like this one wasn't. But I went, and we were just hanging out, and then there's a dancer that just has like a bullwhip, and they're just sitting there going around the pole. You hear the fucking whip crack sound, and she does it once more. And then, the sound that VRChat makes when you get disconnected? It's like the kind of noise.
Yeah. We all
Imagine
know
that,
sounds.
but like 30 times in the course of like half
Oh
a
my God.
second. And I just got like
Holy
spammed with
shit.
disconnected from instance. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I get rebooted back into the same instance, and I just go back over to my girlfriend. I'm like, I think I just got minorly crashed by a bullwhip.
Oh my God. Look at your girlfriend then pop and go, did you like it? I got one in the closet.
I went into a VRchat club and I learned some things about myself, and now it won't stop.
Yeah, well, stop. So what's your girlfriend do for you? She whips me every night before I go to bed. Man. Great. Woo, baby. Look out when she gets the saddle and bid out. We're really going for it. Right.
We're going to town.
Oh, boy. Yeah. No, doggy. It's okay until she puts the feed bag on, and then it's all over and the night's done. Gotcha.
So I have a question for you. What are some clubs and or people that you found in VRchat that gave you some information and or helped you along your current path of DJing and music production?
So some of them were like staff of like Subsystem. I remember my first time ever being there, and it's like it was like my second month DJing, and like, you know, I was redlining a lot. You know what they say,
Mm.
if you ain't redlining, you ain't headlining. But on a serious note, um, it was very distorted, and it's just like they were just like, oh yes, they threw me a couple tips and stuff like that. Um, Same group of friends that I'm with, Pod and Daisuke, they will have nights where we'll literally just start a friends instance in Orion and just start mixing, and we'll give like collective feedback where it's like, so you might want to, either EQ this or like start it a little bit earlier, and they'll just throw a little bit of helpful tips. Apart from that, it's mainly just like some staff are willing to give headers on stuff, and again with the producer friends, we'll either send a call and we'll show each other some music, or being like, oh, how can I make this sound better? And then they'll say, oh yeah, throw like a new like hi-hat pattern in there, and I was like, hell yeah. You gain a lot. It's really cool. And back to that story with 2TD and mainly Luca Lush, but like I was talking to him, and it's just like he taught me some of the different like techno genres. Like, oh, this one's like hard techno, or this one's just regular techno, this one's acid. And you learn a lot, especially when you don't know shit about that genre.
All right. Of everything you mix, what has been some of the more interesting and or harder ones to mix?
One of the most interesting by far, for me at least, I would have to say jungle. I don't have any like publicly posted like jungle sets, but like I do have a crate just sitting around where it's like I have the music, I just don't mix it. I've dabbled around with many other ones just on my free time. Rhythm's big, trance and like progressive trance. I've dabbled a little bit with that. Hardest one I have to say though is funk, and that was not like the Brazilian one. It's like the Memphis rap sample funk, and that was like it's just pause and play to a certain degree. It was just so weird to mix up the different keys and BPM, and it's just like so odd to kind of get used to.
So I'm gonna ask.
I salute those funk DJs, man. Explosive Bear, I think his name is. Dude, I don't know how the fuck you do it, but you're great. Keep doing it.
So I ask you a question because I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. I don't understand this funk stuff. What is it?
So during my producer trope, like, around the 2016 to 2019 era of my like whole producing like hobby career, whatever you want to call it, I made a lot of funk, and that's like phonk. It's basically you take an old jazz sample, any kind of sample really, and you add a Memphis rap sample from like the 90s. They have like a bunch of acapellas that you could find online, and then you can just make like a trap beat out of it, and that was huge. More or less now other subgenres of funk came out, like drift funk's big. If you ever seen like some of those TikToks, and then you hear like that cowbell rhythm with like a heavy kick, like dun 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 dun, like stuff like that, that's like drift funk. But it's all kind of under the same roof, but they're all just kind of different from each other. But oh my god, man, I don't mad imposter syndrome from those mixing days.
Yeah, sorry I had to ask you to explain it, but I've seen it around in like
Don't even worry
TikToks
about
and
it.
YouTube videos. Like, what is this? I understand it's music and it sounds great, but what? That's why.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of different ones. Like heard some people put together like lo-fi funk, and it's like I don't even know how the fuck that sounds, but I've heard about it. It's just a lot of people like to mix around these imaginary genres, but it's like sometimes if it blows up, it'll become a big thing. Then maybe it's the new funk that everybody knows, and that's kind of like where drift funk oriented from. Song blew up on TikTok, and now it's a thing. Everybody makes it.
Well, as long as you enjoy what you make and even if you're experimenting, who cares? Even if it's lo-fi funk or something memey, as long as you're enjoying it.
Exactly. I mean, I know producers who literally just don't make a genre. It's just like they're just them. Like, I mean, there was a whole thing going around with like the rhythm game community with Camellia, and it's just like I know that there's something about this guy where it's like that's a specific genre of music, whether it be J-core or like, you know, some shit, but it's like it doesn't sound like it, and people just label it as it's this dude's own genre. Like Camellia is his genre, and it's just like that's awesome, dude. Like seeing stuff like that, that's unique. When somebody finds their specific sound and it just works for them, that's amazing. Like I love seeing stuff like that.
So I don't dabble into the whole club scene all too much. What are some of these unique people? So if anyone out can watch, can find them.
The most unique mixers that I've seen are DJs. I don't know why I call them mixers. Hello English. Schwank is definitely a big one. Skinny Jeans 64, or by his DJ name Jeans. Funniest thing is they both have their own same style. They like to call it schizo mixing. And it's like a compilation of just like random, like, let's say a house song, and then they'll just throw in hardcore into the next thing. They'll raise the BPM to like 200 plus BPM, and it's just like throw a hardcore kick in there. And definitely those two seem to be the most unique that I've seen so far. For the more experimental and like how I like to call them, sorry Daria Core fans, but the weirder genres, Daria Core is a big one. The DJs that I've seen for that is like Jazz Poutine and or Jazz Putin, whatever her name is, and Mayhem Chan. They're both like some of the most like hectic DJs that I've seen for that genre. It's great.
So what makes them hectic, may I ask?
Oh, dude, all over the place. Like this music is like all over the place. The way that I can put it, imagine ADHD, but like a music genre. And it's just like,
okay.
You stick like 10 seconds on one song, and then stick like 10 seconds on one song. You're sampling to the next, and it's just like the crowd just goes crazy for it, and it's so cool to see. I mean, listen, I don't mind. Yes, it's a hectic genre, but it's like I'll listen to it here and there. Like, I mean, hell yeah, exactly.
And if it works, it works. It works. And it works, it works. Just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the most beautiful things about the internet. You'll find some great people, and then also some oddballs, and that's what makes it all great, regardless of whatever you like or don't like. At least here in VRChat, you get like a physical representation of all of it, even if it's ADHD music.
Oh yeah.
I'm not an oddball. What the hell are you talking about? I'm just a troll under a bridge that just got ran over by the nearest truck and fell off. It's okay, no problem.
You're a tiny fox in a hamster ball, Raptor. That is exactly what you are.
Yeah, you gotta have some plastic around you. You're gonna get out and people are going, get your ass back in that ball. What the hell wrong with you?
Well, to be fair, half the time we can't even find you unless you're in the giant pig ball because you hide in plants.
It works, man.
You should see the amount of times we've come into a world with this guy, and he'll just be hanging out in a plant, like the ones behind you over there. And he'll just be hanging out in them.
Oh, like this.
Oh my God.
Like over here. No, like this. Down here, folks. Down here.
He'll just be over there doing his thing in a plant. And You won't even know he's there, and just hang out, watch people walk by, and they're looking for him. It could be something really important, and he'll just watch them walk by, and then give them time to go that way, and then over that way again, then back that way. And as soon as they're starting to get frustrated, you hear the plant say, "What are you doing over there for? I'm right here." And it is it's funny, but it's also annoying when it's you.
This random talking plant just kind of chilling. Just doing
I do it all the time.
Mm.
Hey, don't go to that plant over there, okay?
Okay. I'll be sure
Not
not to go to
warm.
that plant.
Did his business.
It's not
Okay.
warm. It's not warm. I pissed in the other one. It's probably warmer, but don't go to the one on the other side. It's
No
not
wonder
safe.
why our
It's not
houseplants
safe.
are all dead. Those are supposed to be for decorations and not for your yard.
Hey! Ain't my fault that one of them's plastic and the other one's real. You should have told me the other way around, Bert, damn it. Son of a bitch. Yeah, but yeah, I do a lot of stuff like that. And it don't mean it's plants. It could be anything. And it's just hilarious as dog shit to watch people walk by back and forth. It's like tennis, and you don't say nothing. You figure, wait a minute, what's this name above my head? You don't see this? I'm not lying in the bottom of the plant. I'm just standing in it, and they don't notice. It's just okay.
That's great, especially
it's
with the
no
new
problem.
avatar scaling that they rolled out. It's just like you could literally just go to like down microscopic size and just hang out somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, it's if I go to a rave or something like that, and I can find a place to sit. Because if I'm on the floor, if I want to boogie on the floor, I'm gonna get stepped on. I'm gonna cuss somebody out, going, "Hey, move your ass over and let this is my space, damn it! Quit stepping." They'll look down, and go, "Whoops, sorry," and it just throws their groove all out. It's just funnier shit. So I move out of the way so they can. And I find I've had people come up to me, "Why aren't you on the dance floor?" I going, "Hello, look at the height." They don't even pay. What? Hello, size difference. Squishy's not. I'm not one of their. I don't want to be a fucking cheese sandwich stuck to the bottom of their feet. It's not a good thing. It's just that kind of stuff. And I've had people come over and go, "Why aren't you dancing?"
It's gonna be
Hello.
like the cartoons, man. You're just gonna see
Yeah,
a liquefied raptor stick to the ground, just like a piece of
stuck
gum.
to your shoe, going. Be like the Disney show, The Ant, where they get stuck to the bottom of the gum of the shoe, right? Yeah, pretty much the same goddamn thing. It's just, but like I said, seeing some of the stuff that you guys do and stuff like this, I haven't actually asked anybody, but the first time is always a good thing. I'd like you to get a chance, if you ever do a mix, try to do a mix with different cars and put songs in between the cars revving up, because there's so many. All cars have a different sound. That'd be cool as shit. I'd be jamming to that shit. That'd be great to listen to.
Dude, the thing is, like, what you were saying before, and it's just like you're sitting there on the floor. I've noticed something in it, man, and it's just like you see people just walk right through others in clubs, and it's just like nothing wrong with that. I don't find any issue in it, but yeah, I know some people do because it kind of ruins the immersion. And it's just like by default, if I'm at like a big club, like for the first time ever, I went to my first like shelter main instance, and it's like I really wanted to get in front of the deck, like right there, but there were so many people just kind of sitting in the corner, and I was literally sitting there sideways, kind of scooting through everybody, just trying not to run into anybody.
Well, that's very courteous of you to do.
I try my best. Try my best.
It's not like in VR, a lot of people have like common courtesies or know to like some people have phantom sense or not. A lot of people just think, oh, it's a game, who cares? And off they go straight through someone's face.
Exactly. I mean, it's like I always try to, especially for some of my homies, I know some of them have like phantom sense, and it's just like I don't want to like accidentally like poke you in the cheek and then you just like what the fuck? Like, it's just I don't want to like screw up somebody's like perspective, and it's just like walk straight through them or anything like that. I want to be courteous of their personal space when it comes to some of that stuff. And like I said, I mean, shelter was like a huge eye opener for me, because it's like I didn't realize that I fully did it until that night where I was literally scooching past other people just trying to get through. It was just a whole new like eye opener in a way.
Hmm. So, how was your first big club experience playing for different from your ones prior? What made you feel like, what was the moment you felt like you made it?
The biggest time I felt like I made it was definitely Lyoko. Um, and I mean, again, I don't know how I describe Shelter, but that was my first time like as like just a patron, like club goer kind of thing. But like the first time like I've played like Lyoko, and the way that they had their old world set up was a backstage area that you needed to access through like it wasn't a code, but it was like a certain button on a door. And back there were like the light controls and everything, and then um you could see like through the screen there's like a pass through, like opacity 50 type black screen just there. And I just see everybody just sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit.
Hmm. Not used to
Just
these
being
numbers.
just like sitting there. Exactly. Then it's like, from people like from clubs that I've only played like 30 max. It's like I've gotten used to those numbers, but it's like um last month I played at Hardbox again for like the first time in like 7 months since I was started DJing. And it's just like um I was sitting there at the cube that they had for their like world. The DJ performs in like some LED light cube, and it's like it's pretty sick. But like even just like sitting there and like looking at everybody that's just sitting there waiting, and it's just I'm like, whoa. I
Hmm.
still kind of get like those nervousness moments, but
Hmm.
like I tend to curate a lot of my sets and plan them out ahead of time, and I practice them, and it's just like I know I got it down pat, but it's just like seeing that many people, I'm just kind of like my heart's beating a little fast still.
Well, look, my heart's playing a fun heart style beat in my chest. Am I in the right place?
Oh my god, my heart's
Hope it
going
don't go
almost
out
as
of
fast
rhythm.
as the music.
Bert, I got a question. Can't even
Hmm.
pronounce shit today. When you do, have you ever had where you had a being what you do and everything and DJ and everything else like this and mixing? Have you ever had something where all of a sudden, and most of them do, just want to, and you probably have, where everything's not working the way you want it, and you're trying to figure out how to, oh shit, oh crap, and people are dancing and something just, and they all look at me, and it's not your fault. It could be something in the room, blah blah blah. Have you had any situation like that at all? I'm just curious.
Two situations. First one was at Ice Crown. I was spinning Frenchcore, which is another like form of the harder style genres, and it's just I was there was a part where I just looped an acapella, and it's just like kind of chopping it up. I forgot that that was the cue to finally let it go, and then I pressed the wrong loop button, and then the sample at the end of it was just like symbol, symbol, and this is the challenging part that I like about DJing, where it's like you got to really think quick in certain situations. So I finally like released the right loop, and then I just kept spamming the shrink like loop key. So it just kept going until I was able to finally just like fade it out. Um, Little things like that, and it's like I know some people won't notice because they're just vibing, but like for somebody like me, it's like I'm like, oh fuck, did anybody notice that? There were times where I've accidentally set the wrong BPM on the other track, and it's like, oh, now it sounds like shit. I gotta speed it up without them noticing.
Mm.
Raise the BPM back up to its normal. The most recent one, same gig, man, Hardbox. The VJ that was doing all the visuals and stuff. Poor guy, man. Oh my god, his system kept crashing, and his system was linked to my stream that output like a live feed. So nobody can hear my mixing, and It happened about 4 times through the entire venue, and there were points where I knew it wasn't there because they have a whole color scheme where it's like red and blue. And you see in the back on the visual screen it says system offline. I just get up on the decks and I'm like, guys, just pretend I'm playing the music still. Just pretend you hear the music. It's fine. I had to edit the VOD back and with the mix that I recorded and just kind of match it up. And it wasn't that big of a deal, but that was definitely one of the funnier oopsies that happened during my sets.
Gotcha.
It does happen. It does happen a lot, but some people don't notice it. Some people will, some people don't. It's a hit or miss, but it's usually funny at the end of the day.
Well, I'm sure this is coming from like my own perspective. I'm sure a lot of people don't notice things like that. If they're just enjoying themselves, they're not going to notice a damn thing because, as the saying goes, the artist is their own harshest critic.
Exactly. Very good saying. I mean, I remember hearing something like similar to that, but that's kind of like the icing on the cake. And it's like, even when I used to produce like certain genres of music, it's like, oh shit, I put the volume a little too loud on this part, and now it kind of clips a little bit. People don't notice, but you do. It's just like a certain thing with the artist or the DJ, producer, whatever it'll be. They'll notice the small change, but like 99% of the time, nobody notices. You kind of get that sigh of relief.
You know, it's not music related, but it's still sort of related. Do you know who H.P. Lovecraft is?
The name sounds familiar.
Well, he's like a 1920 horror author. One of his short stories that he didn't like, he thought it was crap, was Shadow over Innsmouth. And it sat in his desk at his home until he passed away. And it wasn't published till after his family found it because he refused to put it up because he thought it sucked. And he didn't like it, and so on and so forth. So in terms of like art, from like what you guys do, making music or production, or oh look, the volume is a little too loud, or there's this error here, maybe the color in some art piece is a little too dark. No one's gonna really notice or care, and you might be surprised how many people actually love what you've done, not necessarily disliked, based upon what say you.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like, it's usually almost every single time, it's always a personal preference kind of thing with the artist, and it's just like, sometimes it's just, I gotta try and, for me at least, I gotta try and like let my mind not do the thinking in certain scenarios, which is something I've also learned with producing music ever since. Like, it's just, don't give a shit necessarily. Give a shit, but don't give a shit, because you're making stuff out of your own enjoyment for the end of the day. At least I would hope so. But you know, that's kind of the whole tail end of it, is just like, it shouldn't have to bother you at a certain point in time. But most of the time, it's just the head can't really process it, especially in the moment.
Well, I'm sure it's one of those things easier said than done. I'm sure when you're up on the stage or the venue playing your music, and you, maybe like the symbol problem you mentioned you had earlier, for you it's all you can probably see or hear at the time, but everyone else, they may not see the same thing you are. But I can very much agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with that. And it's just, you got to kind of come to terms where it's like, sometimes this stuff is like completely unavoidable. You really can't have a way around it. Like, I literally cannot fly myself out to Germany for like 5 seconds and stop the dude's PC from crashing my stream. You just can't stop it. And you just kind of gotta come to terms with certain stuff like that. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. And it's like, the guy apologized, but I'm just like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, it's cool, man.
So I have a question for you. What has been some of the biggest hurdles in your DJ career from when you started to now, and how did you get over them?
Definitely bookings. There was a recent tweet that went out as well. I think it was by my friend Narshwal. She was spitting facts in this one, but um it was like, it kind of sucks to see that some people will literally blacklist a DJ just by simply them asking to play at the venue. And it's just like some people have an issue with saying no, and it's like, which I've seen firsthand where it's like, I really want to spin at a venue, but they know some of the music that I play, and it's just like automatically it's like, yeah, you guys are a, any genre venue, but it's like the second you hear a genre that you're not enjoying, it's like, well, if you guys really didn't like it, then you could have just told me otherwise. Like, bookings though, especially as a hardcore DJ from NA, definitely a huge hurdle. Not a lot of people are very fond of the genres that I play in particular. The most that you'll see is EU and JP, where they have clubs dedicated for it. NA, we only have Hard as Fuck, which is a sub branch of L Spot, and which I, funnily enough, now staff for. I started off as a resident, and they had me do their special event, Hard as Fuck but Harder, and I spun there. They brought me in as a DJ, played another event, resident, and we're currently finding out ways to kind of not force feed people into enjoying hardcore, but finding ways just to get the word out there of the music that's being played here. Figure out how we can kind of expand our horizons and push our limits with this stuff. Ever since, once you become like a resident at a certain club, sometimes 99% of the time it's like, cool, you have a stable booking schedule until, new residents come in and spots are taken, etc., which is cool. Like me personally, at one point I was DJing every other week for them because it's just like I wanted to spin more, and it's like I wanted to play more music, but I started noticing my sets were getting very repetitive. So as of recently, I took like a 3 to 4 week hiatus on just deleting all my old music and bringing in new stuff, and finding new ways to kind of strategize my like music portfolio or DJ portfolio. But this is like one of the only times where bookings haven't really affected me because I did this stuff to my own. Like, I'm just like, I've had somebody ask like, "Hey man, do you want to play?" And I'm just like, I don't have music. Like, it's as simple as that. I don't have any music.
Okay.
Sorry, man. Maybe another time. But yeah. 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 It's hard sometimes for certain DJs, and I feel for other people where it's like they can't find bookings because it's either hot take, nepotism, is a real thing, and just overall clout chasing. And I hate to be that guy to bring in hot takes, but it's truly out there. People don't realize it, people want to deny it, but it's truly out there when you've experienced it. Somebody will take DJ A over DJ B because DJ A has a bigger name, or they have a more cult following that'll get their club more numbers. And it's kind of like that dark side, that dark rabbit hole of the club scene where it's like nobody really talks about.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff is in most of places anyway. Like as we were talking about earlier, if you're doing a thing for the numbers or the money or the what say, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, especially VRChat, most people don't come here to like find a career. They come here just to forget the day. Whether they go into a club and bop to hardstyle, or they're over in a black cat screaming at 8-year-olds, whatever it may be.
Exactly, man. And it's just like people step over that point where it's just like, they don't want to admit facts to that, and they just kind of want to let their own thing be their own, like their own opinion be their own opinion. But it's just like, you can have your opinions, but just know like there's reasonings for this stuff happening out there, and it's just like you're facing a blind eye to it. You know.
Well, with a lot of those things, I've always had the firm belief that society will vote with their dollar and or attention. So if a thing isn't good, whether they're clout chasing too hard, or maybe they're just not good people, or they're amazing people, I have always had the firm belief that the crowd knows what they want, whatever it may be. I may not like it, but if it's what the people want, it's what they want. Whether it's a leader or some music genre they don't understand that appears on TikTok, whatever. I feel, yeah, at least that's my thought on it.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, it's just it's a hard thing to wrap around. I mean, it's like with some of these topics that even as of recently that have been brought up with the club owners being paid or paying the DJs or any of that stuff. It's just like these are all topics that people like to choose to stay away from, me included. And again, reason why I said I hate putting out hot takes is because I fucking hate controversy. Like, not even trying to shed light on any other situation, but it's just like there have been other, not as of recent, but like other stuff that's been going on, and it's just like I don't want to say in this because I'm afraid, for one, I'm gonna say something the wrong way because I'm fucking notorious for that. I'm notorious for meaning something that's supposed to go point A, but people like personalize it with point B, which is obviously going to be the wrong idea, and it's going to get blown out of proportion. And of course, it's just a what if scenario, but it's like that's why I don't speak up on stuff, and it's just like I don't want to be involved with the drama, and I can't stand like personalized opinions, and then then you're on a fucking argument with somebody who you don't even know.
Hot take.
My mentality
Is it
personally
sprinkles or
is not
chins?
meant for that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh. Another hot take is it's soda or pop, come on. It's a big thing, man. Like I'm from Jersey, and it's just like I'm from Jersey, and man, it's just up north. We have a specialized breakfast meat we like to call pork roll. Any North Jerseyan, fuck you, it's pork roll.
What is
it's literally
pork roll?
a divided thing. The best way to put it, it's like it's not Spam, but it's not ham. It's like just a regular breakfast meat, and it's like I think it's something kind of like Spam, but like wrapped in like a bologna kind of style, where it's like you could slice it up and fry it. And the main thing is like there on the wrapping it says Taylor, which is the brand. Pork roll, and then it'll say ham at the bottom or something like that. And it's like pork roll is the main thing. Everybody, once you get to a certain point in New Jersey where it's just like the center cutoff line, anyone from south, you're going to hear pork roll. Anyone from north, you're going to hear Taylor ham. Long ago, when I was on a little fishing trip with my dad, we stopped to get some breakfast at a diner in northern Jersey, and then they're like, "Yeah, what would you like to eat?" I'm like, "Pork roll, egg and cheese, please, on a roll." And they're like, "Okay, one Taylor ham," and I'm just, pork roll. I'm like, "I'm sorry, honey, it's Taylor ham," and I'm like, I'm not here to argue. Can I just have the sandwich, please? I'm hungry. It's 7 a.m.
Just feed me, damn it! I don't give a shit what you call it. Throw it on the fucking plate and let's go. I got all day, right? No, I don't.
Yeah. There's another DJ named Paul Montan, and I mean he's from Jersey as well, but he's also from North Jersey. He visited, or one of his friends from JP visited here, and they took a little picture in the diner, and they're just like showing a picture of it. I'm just like, "Oh, did he try pork roll yet?" And then it's just like Paul replies and he's like, no, he didn't try the Taylor ham yet. And I'm just like, you, come on, just agree.
Oh my God.
You can never escape it. As a Jerseyan, you can never escape it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, wow.
Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
Pork roll, Taylor ham. Close enough.
Well, that's close enough.
They definitely don't sound the same, but they are the same.
So
It's fucking great.
I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be a little bit hard to dive, and I've asked a lot of people from the Club A community this. I'm just trying to, and I don't ask this to start an argument. I ask this to like understand, like gauge VRchat's response, I guess. How do you feel about the creator economy coming out?
Ooh, man. It's a little harder to dig into. It's just like me personally, if I want to get paid for stuff that I'm doing truly, then it's like I don't know what the guidelines are for it, but it's like, let's say you're a bigger club like Shelter, and it's like, well, will a certain tier allow you priority access into a queue? And these are all like questions that I've had regarding this stuff. Will they throw in like merch or something? Will they throw in like any sort of like compensation for your patronage? And it's just like, it's a iffy kind of topic for me because it's just like I haven't dug too deep into it, but I know it's definitely, and it's just like, it's like I kind of want to see from the sidelines like how this is going to take off, like how people are going to be compensated. Like, is it going to fully replace Patreon, or is it going to replace like coffee or any of that stuff? And it's just like I kind of want to see where this goes. It's definitely a very interesting concept, based off of what I've seen. I'm kind of stoked to see like where it takes off.
I kind of agree. Although I hope VRChat doesn't over push the whole everything costs money now. But it is nice to see VRChat's trying to do some more in-house stuff, like different from Patreon or the new Discord store server payment system. At least seeing VRChat's trying to do something with or for their economy is nice to see, even if it's controversial to some degree. At least it shows they're paying some attention to what's going on in here, to a point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially with like more of the clubs and stuff. It would definitely benefit more with clubs and everything like that. But it's like, now I'm sure you've heard of Tortles and stuff like that. I remember there was one specific conversation he was having on Spaces where it was technically about like the creator economy, where it's like, so what are these people gonna have like private event access? Are they gonna have like something like this? Is it gonna like it kind of goes the same way as like, I don't know, say paying admission for a VR club. I can tell you right now, I personally would not want to do that. No offense, but it's like, if your club's big and you do have residents, and those residents feel like paying for these kinds of shows, or let's say, for instance, a pass, like a yearly pass, where it's like you get access to all of these venues for a certain price. You do you. You do you do whatever you feel is right, but I just can't wrap my head around what's the word I'm looking for? Paywalling or donawalling a event with currency that's coming from a literal free game. Like, something like that. It's like I can see the benefits of it being a supporter of a certain world or club. Yes, I could see that. But like paywalling certain kind of events or shows and stuff like that, I don't see the like true logic behind it all. I could just be a pea brain, but that's just all from my perspective. It's just,
I can understand that. Although I'm sure at the exact same point, playing devil's advocate a little bit, there are people that put a lot of time in here and having a little extra ability to do so further, whatever it may be, and having it be in all one place, I'm sure it'd be nice too. Because not everyone has a whole lot of time, but due to outside here to do stuff like that. But
Hmm.
that's just the devil's advocate view.
Oh yeah, of course, and I respect that completely. You know, I mean, it's like there are different views that I don't look too deeply into, where it's like once I see it, I'm kind of like, ah, you know, you got a point there. You know, kind of
Mm,
ordeal with that, where it's like I now kind of see that point, and it's like makes some of my opinions kind of like
mm,
invalid and striked out kind of thing. It best way that I could probably compare it would be uh, tier 3 subs and tier 2 subs on
mm,
Twitch. You know, you got people who will pay a certain amount of money per month, and these guys get access to certain goodies and links and Discord channel access where they can, you know, depending on how big or small the streamer is, even get a chance to just casually chat with them,
mm,
you know, by paying that certain amount of money. And it's just like, you know, I could see the benefits with that. You know, like especially if you're supporting somebody super hard and you put so much time into their like content and just their, you know, whole activities all around where it's like at
mm,
that point, you know, for some people it may seem worth it. Like
mm,
I've never personally donated tier 3 to any streamer, but you know, I've been like gifted a tier 2 subscription to I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like a somewhat decently sized like rhythm game player, and like in his Discord he had a private tier 2 channel, and I had access to that for a month, and it was like that was sick. That
mm,
was nice. You know, especially since certain games and stuff they're not really well known for, so you know, they're not like a full-blown celebrity, but they're big in the community. But it's
mm,
like then you get a chance to like actually talk to them and just converse. And it's
mm,
sick,
mm.
you know. Um it's all personal opinion with some of this stuff though.
Yeah.
Until you see how it truly rolls out and like
Mm,
takes effect, like I feel like I wouldn't have a true opinion on it until I actually see some movement in the community with those kind of paywalls and stuff.
mm. Well, I just hope VRChat allows it to be a voluntary system. That way, you could still see the show for free and still enjoy typical access. But if you voluntarily opt in, there are these things. At least
Oh
that way,
yeah,
you can have a
even
bit of both
hmm
worlds.
even with like you see some of those worlds that have like Patreon exclusive access to the world, like stuff like that. Like it's, I feel like it's gonna be the same thing in a way where it's like,
Mm,
oh, you got to be a Patreon to access like you know a certain area of this map, like the VIP lounge or something like that.
mm.
It's kind of hypocritical to say because I am a Patreon to the person that makes Terrors of Nowhere.
Oh,
Great game, very great game.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't played Terrace of Nowhere yet. I've had some people I know try and get me to play though. Yeah.
It's
Well,
worth it, especially this time of year right now. Halloween time's coming up.
mm,
Definitely, I'm not even like endorsing this shit. It's just my friend Daisuke literally just gets me to hop on, and he's like, "Yo, you want to play Terrors of Nowhere tonight?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's get it going.
mm.
Let's get some stuff going."
So, what is Terrace of Nowhere?
Oh God, dude, imagine like Nintendo 64, PS1 type style graphics, the low polyness of it, and it's just you have a big like monster kind of just like chasing you. You got to either run away or the more you survive, the more points you get, so you could buy stuff like guns and weapons and stuff like that and just kind of you know, either whack the monster with it and daze them for a bit so you can have more time to run. Um it's kind of like those Nextbot Gmod games, but it's like
Mm,
it's not a PNG image chasing you. It's like a genuine like AI that has like a whole tracking formation and stuff, and it can just like know where you are, and it's pretty sick. It's a lot of characters from like different games and stuff too. It's pretty sick.
Okay. Well, I'll have to give it a try. Unfortunately, I haven't really gotten on the hype of it yet, but I've heard a lot of people enjoy the game. And whoever made it apparently did a good job if it's leaving that much of an impression.
Oh my god, yeah. There was one point where it was a Patreon locked kind of game, so like you had to be a supporter to gain access to the game, but now it's like you can just be in the group and you'll get access to either open up a lobby or you know, just join any of the group plus lobbies. It's sick.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I like seeing a lot of the newer games for VRChat come out because there's a lot of more interesting things coming out over time. I think it was like last year I found a game that I can best describe as Hello Neighbor meets Dishonored. And you just go through some dark,
Oh my
Dishonored-esque city avoiding guards. And you do little quests like delivering a package here or stuff like that.
Oh my
And that's the whole
God.
thing. There's a bit of a story to it. It's not like a full-fledged game, but it was fun. It's a couple hours you can use to kill with it. I thought it was great. I wish I remembered what it was called. Oh man, I had a lot of fun with it. Because when people make stuff like that for VRChat, I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah, and I remember during like I think it was like end of 2020, early 2021, they had the it was made by somebody from JP. I know it's that, but it was like a battle royale. That was sick. It's kind of sad to see that the game and the community itself, I feel like, just kind of, how you doing? Play space moment. The community itself just kind of like died, and it's just it's kind of sad to see. But there's a Instagib tournament where it's just like a very hectic first person shooter kind of thing. Jumping off of buildings and shooting opponents. That's a really cool game. It's very fast paced, very hectic. But the community's very 50-50. It's like you got to get on at the right time, and then you'll see like a lobby of like 12 people on, and then if you miss it, there's like nobody. But you can still play with like bots and stuff, which is sick. But you know, it's unless you're playing with other people, it makes it even all the greater. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to see those get revived.
There's an old game that you mentioning like the whole battle royale that for some reason reminded me of another game community that's still active is the Laser Dome community. You know, laser tag in VRChat, they do entire tournaments with teams,
Yeah.
and it's really cool to see that's thriving here. I participated in a couple of their events, and it's a blast. If you're into
No
laser.
pun intended, right?
Pun intended. I enjoy puns. Like, even look at my status as produce puns are rad-ish. I'm one of those guys.
That's no doubt.
God damn it, I didn't realize until I saw it.
Yep, I'm one of those people that make really dumb puns, and I enjoy the disappointment. Like, I remember, fun fact, I work in a grocery store as a day job, and I make enough to pay for myself. One of my bosses dropped a couple of cases of blueberries, and a couple of them are picking it up. And I walk into the cooler, and before I could filter out the really dumb thought, I said, "Wow, you guys look buried." I heard both of their disappointment just eke out of their body as the stupid pun left my face hole. Worth it.
Dude, nothing beats like a very like cheesy pun. It's great.
Very good.
It's just like
I'm gonna look at the tree for a while. Wow, it's pretty pretty over
That's
there.
a great tree.
You gonna leave us, Raptor?
Man.
No, I'm just gonna green into it.
I got too many of these.
I heard that
I have
one.
way too many of these.
Oh
if it gets
man.
desperate, I'll just jump and hopefully the fall will catch me on the way down.
You saying you're gonna jump on my puns makes me want to do more puns, just to see if you actually would.
Oh, jeez.
Mm, mm. Back on
Uh-huh.
track though. Oh, the Laser Dome community, if you ever had a chance to participate, is definitely a fun thing to participate in. Mm.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I definitely want to give that a try. Listen, I have off from work tomorrow, like
Mm.
actually scheduled day off. I know today I'm a little under the weather, but I'm definitely feeling better today. But maybe I'll give it a try after. Shit,
Mm.
my trackers are fully charged, ready to go.
Yeah. Mm. Well,
Yeah,
there's
I could give it a try, but I'd be fucking dead in a heartbeat because I'm just crawling around. The gun's bigger than I am.
well, I believe Laserdome usually has instances open, and they have a VR chat group where they hold instances and stuff, I believe, as well. And there's usually always something going on if you
Okay.
want to participate, or if you hop in, someone's usually going to hop in with you in a public instance. It's just also just blind fun if you enjoy like laser tag and
Oh,
running
for
around
sure.
like the typical like arcadey style laser or laser tag arenas. It has the exact same feel to it.
Okay.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, dude, definitely want to give that a try.
Mm.
That sounds so sick.
Mm.
Bring back the memories of like playing laser tag as a kid too.
Oh yeah, going to the arcade with your friends on someone's birthday and playing laser tag for a few hours. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mm. Ah, you know, I hope VRChat continues on with its amazing little games and niche things it does because it makes this whole thing a lot more fun. Just all the stuff people create here. Mm.
Definitely. Don't get me wrong, like I mean, looking at beautiful, awe-inspiring worlds is great,
Mm.
but sometimes I literally just want to sit there and chill and just enjoy a casual game, you know?
Mm.
I don't want to just kind of look at, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw a random word out there. Look at a tree all day and just like sit there and oh, the shaders look nice on this.
Mm.
Sooner or later I just grow bored and I'm just like, well, there's nothing else to do.
Mm.
That's what I like about this. VRChat did it right. They let everybody create their own kind of endless possibilities, and it's just like there's so much stuff to do on here, and it's
Mm.
it's great.
Indeed. And even when you think you've seen it all, you haven't seen it all. Take a break for a couple of days, come back to it, someone's created something new for you to see. Give it a month, someone's got a new game or there's a new community club for you to see. There's always new things popping up here, and that's one of the things I'm glad to see VRChat double down on. Like even with the creator community and some of the investor stuff going on, they still gave a lot towards the community to like vet their own people, to moderate their own instances and stuff. And at least VRChat is allowing the community to do its own thing in more ways than one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, God, if we really want to get well, old school for me, because I created my account in 2009. Kind of like Roblox. Oh my God, man, it's just like that was huge. Like when I was a kid, it's just like let your creativity roam free.
Mm.
And it's like now it's like I'm not playing no block game on my PC now, but it's like I'm sitting here as a cat boy with a tank top on and just
Mm.
letting myself go crazy on this platform. And
Mm.
it's like I've heard so many people argue like it's not a game, it's a social platform, which I can see, but
Mm.
it's like there's so much stuff to do on here. It's just like it's
Mm.
endless. And you're
Mm.
right. It's great. It's great to see something that like
Mm.
I've been like kind of yearning for because it's like this truly is like a good way to get somebody into virtual reality and just
Mm.
kind of show them the ropes of things.
Indeed. I think VRChat is like not quite a social platform, but also not quite a game either. I think it's like the in-between road. And at least unlike social platforms, a lot more of the like drama doesn't happen as much. At least here, because it's not like it's like almost like having an actual face-to-face conversation. Who's gonna say half the Twitter bullshit you see out there when you're looking at someone in their eyes, even its virtual eyes? A lot of the time, you still have the exact same human responses to it. So a lot more people are a bit more
Exactly.
tame a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like unless unless you're like mute and you're just typing on the keyboard
Mm.
with the chat box, it's like you're vocalizing your opinions and you're just having a decent conversation with somebody right in front of your eyes through a toaster on your head. The future is here, and it's great. Like, I mean, it's if you told 10-year-old Bert, like, you'll see people through the screen that's like you'll see like people through a headset, and it's like you'll be able to talk to these people from like halfway across the world, and it's like I look at you like you're crazy.
Mm.
But now it's like when I see this all, and I'm just like, I can literally just have a conversation with somebody who lives in like Thailand or Australia, someplace that probably wasn't even possible to have on like a certain game if it's not popular in that region.
Mm.
Now I have the chance to just talk with people from around the world, and it's sick. I love it. I
Mm.
love it.
Mm.
Um, you know, off topic, but like I'm a big culture freak, and it's like I like learning about new cultures. And
Mm.
this kind of gives me that open environment to like kind of converse with somebody who lives in um let's say most unique person that I'd say I met somebody from like Vietnam. I met somebody from Russia. I met somebody from like Turkey, and as of recently through a mutual DJ friend, somebody from Saudi Arabia.
Oh wow.
And like I'm like, that's sick. And I'm like talking to somebody that's like they're practically right in front of me.
Mm.
It's sick, man. I love it. I love learning about new stuff.
Mm.
Um, that's great.
One of the things I'm starting to be like, starting to see, and maybe it's just because I'm looking for it, but now I've had the chance to meet a group known as VR Japan tours, and they bring Japanese VR culture and their culture in general into VR, and you can see performers from that end of VRChat and various things, whether it's music or various things that got going on over there. And it's or then you got the other places that are like teaching you languages, whether it's sign language or Russian or whatever. There's lots of groups out there you can have a hands-on approach to those things, like learning cultures, for example.
Mm-hmm. And like there's another friend that I've met at Japan Street. Japan Street's a whole rabbit hole in itself for me because I mean it's just like the history with me and that world goes back all the way to 2020 when I was just starting out in a VR headset. I've met numerous people, including Pod and Daisuke, my two closest like friends in this platform, and it's like, um, so much stuff has happened. I've met a Japanese girl over there who I talk to every now and then, and it's just like, um, she got into learning English because she wanted to converse with like me and other people, and it's like, it's it's cool the amount of like influence that this game can have on somebody.
Mm. Yeah, indeed. I hope that VRChat stays true to itself in the future as it grows, because it's one of the few platforms I see being stable. It's always got things to do. You can meet so many awesome people, whether they are a Kermit impersonator and a Kermit e-girl avatar or whatever they are, wherever they're from. You have ability to meet them, and I hope nothing changes in that front. It doesn't get too like corporatized or whatever. Mm.
Exactly. I mean, I know that they're kind of on a corporate level now, but it doesn't seem to be as big as like, you know, one would think.
Mm.
Because like they really only have, I know that they have quite a few community Discord moderators. I know that they have quite a bit of in-game moderators,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like it's still small enough to where you can go to a club and you'll literally just see Tupper there. I went over to Shelter, and it was like the instance before the main instance. There was some issue, but he was there basically flagging people, telling them where to go, and it's just like you look over and you're like, holy shit, that's the head of admin. That's the big dog. And like when I was having that convo with Luca Lush, Tupper shows up and I'm just like, oh shit.
Well, at least you know VRChat, unlike other games, cough cough EA, at least they're playing their game. And at least you see they're just as active as everyone else. They're just as interested, doing the exact same things. And it's not like you see some high-level corporate dickhead who's it's like, you know what sounds like a good idea? Let's put shaders behind a paywall, and or whatever it may be. And I like that about VRChat as well, as you could see them everywhere, wherever you
Oh
are.
yeah.
Mm.
It's not like they're shoving the paywall shit behind your throat, like down your throat. And like, yes, there are some features that are locked to VRC Plus, and I've just started dabbling with them as well. But I've been a subscriber for so freaking long, man, and it's just like now I kind of have the time to like kind of look through everything, and I'm like, they really do add some like cool stuff for you to test out. And it's like, but you don't see them. You'll see them, of course, just having a little banner on the mini menu that basically says like, "Oh, look at that! Hey, VR Chat Plus gift stacking. Hey, cool." But like, you don't see them being like, holding your neck and like with a fist in front of your face, like you're gonna freaking get it. You're gonna get VR Chat Plus right now. It's not that deep. And it's like, that's what I like about it. It's like they're not forcing the microtransactions into you. Like they're not being so strict about it.
And it's not like VRChat has a lot of microtransactions, and a lot of them are some quality of life, but they're not game-breaking quality of life. And I personally,
Exactly.
I've been a VRChat Plus subscriber for a while. I think probably since, I don't know, it's been around for what, a couple of years now. And
yeah, I can't remember exactly when, but I think like 2021 was like somewhere around there that they brought it out. Like I've been subscribed to them for God knows how long, and it's just like I see no reason not to.
Yeah. Look at all the memories that we've made here in VRChat. Like half the people I would say are really close friends, like Raptor here, or some of the other people we call the Curse Crew or the Euro Crew. I would have not have met them, would have not had an amazing time in memories without VRChat. Hell, I wouldn't have learned half the stuff I do here in Metaverse Degen without VRChat. I probably just would have been something, okay, that'd be cool, but off I go doing other things. VRChat's done a whole lot, and I'm glad to subscribe to it.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not only like, of course, yes, they're a corporation, but it's like, you're not just paying money and then it's like you don't get shit out of it. You're paying, you're compensating them for all like the kind of like hard work that they've put through ever since like, what was it, 15 is when this game went in beta, like kind of thing, like when it went like open. But it's like you've been putting in like all this compensation for like so many years of hard work, and you see where the company's gone from such a small like 2-person team to like big corporation type stuff. And it's just like, obviously these guys make their compensation well, I can imagine, being corporate and everything, but it's like, it's just showing your support for all the memories that you've made and all like exactly what you said. Now it's like, I remember same person, same friend, Narshwal, she put out a tweet that was saying like, oh, here it is. I was talking to a friend a couple nights ago about how VRChat changed our lives for the positive over all the negative crap we've been seeing, like especially as of recently with drama that's been going on. And it's like, this was my social outlet, personally. in 2020 when I was working in you know groceries. I was working in liquor stores, but um, due to lockdown and stuff, we had to make a lot of cuts at the time, and I was one of the people who got not like severance, but it was I can't remember the term, but they're not firing you, but they're temporarily putting your position on hold
Leave of absence?
because something like that. It was something very similar to leave of absence, furloughed. Furloughed.
Ah, furloughed.
We got furloughed temporarily, and I was out of work for 5 months. Specifically because like our store in particular, it wasn't a mom and pop; it was a very small corporate store, but they weren't making enough revenue to compensate the employees for their time. So with that, obviously came pay cuts and or furlough. And I was sitting there, I remember it so vividly. I was sitting there and looked at my VR headset, looked at the CV1 with the one stupid tracker that actually worked, and I was like, fuck this, I'm putting it on. Put it on, and I remember that day so vividly, man. I met so many people and spent like 9 hours. And it was like when my controllers died, I went back to desktop. Once the controllers were ready, went back into I had the rechargeable AA batteries, man. I came prepared for that stuff.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll have VR headsets with controllers that'll last a lot longer. Maybe full body trackers that'll last a lot longer. That'd be nice to see.
Oh God, don't tell me about that, man. I just spent $100 on, again, not endorsed, but I do want to vouch. Midnight Tech, they have those 3D printed puck chargers. Holy crap, they're great.
So are the Track Strap Pluses as well. Add like 12 hours of battery life as well. I have those, but I haven't used them in a while. I usually think the 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours of Vive Track will give you plenty of time in VR. At least then you can step out and enjoy the world a little.
Exactly. I mean, me personally, I'm on 2.0, so these things already don't really have the greatest battery life. More or less, like, off of a full charge, like 4 hours, still good. It's just like if I'm staffing for an event and I'm like literally sitting there not in desktop but in VR, it's like halfway through that event, these things are like pretty much on their way out. So I already have to either hook up the track straps or stuff like that. But these are hand-me-downs from my girlfriend, and it's like, dude, honestly, worth the money already from what I experienced. And it's just like they came with the little track strap pluses, and the Velcro wasn't so good on them, but then they started giving way, so I just bought the EOZ feet straps, the V2s. So freaking comfortable, man. So freaking comfortable. Paired that up with the midnight pucks, and honestly, man, it's just like, that's just the comfortable setup right there.
That's actually awesome to hear. Maybe I'll look into those things. Although I think the next thing I'd also like to see come out is remove the 12-pound potato. Make it lighter.
Oh God. Don't like, oh man, I already put myself in debt. I don't need the big screen beyond. I do not need it. Nope, don't need the big screen. I would like it, but I don't need it. No.
You SpongeBob meme. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it. Well, at
like,
least,
man, yeah.
At least it's
ahead.
good to see the headsets are getting smaller instead of cramming more features in it. Although it would be nice to also see like face tracking and stuff come out a bit more standard. But also, other than VRChat, where else would you use it?
Exactly. You're not gonna go into Bone Lab and show somebody like, look at them directly in the eyes, or like, like pace your eyes back and forth. You're really only gonna see that stuff in like in VRChat
Mm,
or chill out if or CVR, whatever it's called, and if they have that support, you know.
mm. Well, it's good to see Quest though with coming headsets making that more of a standard thing, which is kind of surprising. Of all of
Yeah.
them, Meta's the one like, you know what? We see you, VR chat. Here's face tracking. When not a lot of the people are doing it.
Dude, it's like I was even considering like either the big screen or I was even looking at the MetaQuest 3 and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if it's hand tracking, but it would be dope to see the hand tracking. I haven't looked too far into it, but it's like, wow. All that for like $400, like $500, like honestly, compared to $1,000 miniature headset that like is literally made just for you, which is a very, very cool concept.
Mm,
I'm torn because once the
yeah.
RMA on this thing goes out and once I'm depleted with my index, it's like I'm gonna need a new headset, man. I mean, like this thing's already showing age after the 1,000 hours I put into it. Like the little clip thing near the ear already came off. I have that being held on by electrical tape.
Oh,
uh,
the little
yeah.
earphones. You can actually iFix it. They have a head strap kit that and instructions is super easy. I can do it, and I got 3 brain cells and a monkey brained as fuck. I can repair it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
what
man.
$125 roughly for the kit, and right within the website they give you instructions to do it. It's super easy, super cheap. You can place the whole head strap. Comes up brand new. The one I have it now does it. Not sponsored, but they're awesome. You're awesome. I fix it.
we this the this is the Metaverse Degen drinking game. For every time we say this isn't sponsored, you gotta take a nice big swig of that drink, you know?
Also, don't tell mom or I think. I'm sorry, drink water. Don't
Yeah.
listen to us.
Take
a water shot. Take a water shot. Yeah, better yet, just take a
you
water
won't
shot.
get
You're good.
dehydrated that way.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
But you get rehydrated with whiskey. Not sorry.
You
Actually,
got
it's a
it.
VR chat. Oh Lord, man, this grave is great. Wilbert,
It's sick, man.
thank you very much for joining us today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh man. SoundCloud. Definitely the SoundCloud. I have 2 releases as of now coming out on various artist compilations, so look out for that. I also have an EP on the way. Other than that, shout out to my guys at Wiretap and Hard as Fuck. Best people you'll ever meet, best communities in the hardcore rave scene and just rave scene in general. If you can wake up, if you're in the US and you can wake up in time, go to a Wiretap event. They are sick. Only happens once every so often.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me, though.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And to close this out, I'm going to leave you all with a question. Is it Jimmy's or is it Sprinkles?